Good morning, students. Today we start the next mode of transport, that is waterways. As we know that Indian mainland is surrounded by three sides of water. That's the reason that India is called a peninsula. The only ocean which touches the mainland boundary of India, that is Indian Ocean, which play a significant role for our India. Because India is connected with the different countries by the sea routes, and it also help to increase the economy of our country. So let us start that what is the role of water transport in our country, India. Waterways. Since time immemorial, India was one of the seafaring countries. Its seamen sailed to faraway places, carrying and spreading Indian commerce and culture. In chapter 1st of ninth class India size and location, we discussed about the importance of Indian Ocean, which is a mode of transport, waterways, the idea and the story of Panchtantra and the Mahabharata went to the different parts of the country by the waterways, and India is connected. India is export and import several things by the waterways. Now next that we are discussing here that the importance of waterways. It is the cheapest means of transport. The first importance of waterways that it is the cheapest means of transport, most suitable for carrying heavy and bulky goods. It is a fuel efficient mode of transport and it is very eco-friendly. About 95% of the country's trade volume and 68% in terms of value is carried through sea. So these points shows that what is the importance of waterways for our country, India. India has also inland navigation waterways of 14,500 km in length, of which only 3,700 km are navigable by the mechanized boats. Ganga and some parts of Brahmaputra, these are the two rivers mainly which provide the navigability. It means that the steam boats can sail along it. It is one of the importance, and it is one of the challenge before our Indian transportation system, that the total availability of navigable water is 14,500, but only 3,700 km which are navigable by the mechanized boats. Next, classification of waterways. That is inland, it means that the inside the country boundary, and the sea route, it means to the different countries. Inland, rivers and lakes, and sea routes, coastal and deep sea. Some of the waterways have been declared as the national waterways by the government are as follows. So what are the national waterways of India? It is one of the important questions. So mainly five. The first one is, which is the longest, that the Ganga river between Allahabad and Haldia, length is 1620 km. It is national waterway number 1. Second one is the Brahmaputra river between Sadia and Dhubri, length is 891 km, national waterway number 2. Third, the West Coast Canal in Kerala, Kottapuram, Kollam, Uddog Mandal and Champakara canals, length is 205 km, national waterway number 3. Next, waterway, that is specified stretches of Godavari and Krishna river along with the Kakinada Puducherry stretch of canals, and the length is 1078 km, national waterway number 4. Specified stretches of river Brahmani along with Matai river, delta channels of Mahanadi and Brahmani river and the East Coast Canal, length is 588 km, national waterway number 5. So these are the major 5 national waterways which are declared by the Indian government. Next concept is problems of water transport. Yes, there are various problems which are facing by the water transportation system. As I told you earlier that 14,500, it is the total length of navigable water, but only 3,700 km is used by the mechanized boats. Not all waterways are navigable to all ships. Big ships and small boats have to share the same waterways. This is a safety issue if one is not careful. So accident can be happen due to the collision of the big ships and the small ships. Next we discuss the major seaports. As you know that we have the total coastline 7,516.6 kilometer, including the length of Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep. So Indian boundary has 12 major ports and 181 medium and the minor ports. Let us discuss one by one the 12 major ports which are located on the east coast and the west coast of India. So India has a long coastline of 7,516.6 km. There are 12 major and 181 medium and minor ports in India. These major ports handle about 95% of India's foreign trade. It means that we are exporting and importing different products and commodities from our country to the different countries. That is foreign trade. What is trade? Trade, it means export and import of goods and commodities from one place to another place. It has two types, internal and external. Internal, it means state to state. It means that Haryana to Punjab, Punjab to Gujarat. But when we are discussing about external trade, it means that the trade between the two nations like India and USA, India and Pakistan, India and Afghanistan, etc. etc. So first, which is a very important port of India, that is Kandla, which was developed soon after independence. Kandla in Kutch, Gujarat state, was the first port developed soon after independence. Kandla is the volume of trade on Mumbai port when the Karachi port fell into Pakistan after the partition. As you know that Karachi went to Pakistan when British India was divided into two parts. It is a tidal port. It caters to the convenient handling of export and imports of highly productive greenery and industrial belt spanning across the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat. So it provides a cater facility to all these regions. Second, we discuss that the Mumbai port, which is the biggest port of India. It has a spacious, natural and well-sheltered harbour. The Jawaharlal Nehru port was planned with a view to lessen the burden on the Mumbai port and serve as the hub port for this region. So it is very important question for our NTSC examination, that which port is developed to ease the or to lessen the burden of Mumbai port, that is Jawaharlal Nehru port. Next one is Marmagao port, which is the main iron ore exporting port of our country India, and in which state? In Goa. This port alone accounts for about 50% of India's iron ore exports. So it is the major or the premier iron ore export port of our country India. New Mangalore port, located in Karnataka, caters to the export of iron ore concentrates from Kudremukh mines. Kudremukh mines, which is the 100% iron ore exported mines of our country India. Kochi is located at the entrance of a lagoon with a natural harbour. These are the various ports which are located on the west coast of India. Now we discuss that major ports on the east coast. First one is Tuticorin, which is connected India with the two south neighboring countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. Tuticorin is the extreme southeastern port located in Tamil Nadu. This port has a natural harbour along with rich hinterland. So it has a flourishing trade handling of a large variety of cargoes to even our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. Cargoes, the goods which are carried by the ship or by an aircraft, that are known cargo. So this is the first port which is connected India with the two South Asian countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. Next port is Chennai. Chennai is one of the oldest artificial port of the country and is ranked only next to Mumbai in terms of volume of trade and cargo. So which port is the next in the matter of volume of trade after Mumbai? That is Chennai. Visakhapatnam, very important question, that it is the deepest landlocked and well protected port. This port was originally conceived as an outlet for iron ore export. Paradip, which is located in Odisha, is also specialized in the export of iron ore. Kolkata is an inland riverine port which serves a very large and rich hinterland of Ganga Brahmaputra basin, which is being a tidal port. It requires constant dredging of the Hooghly River. Haldia port was mainly developed as a subsidiary port in order to relieve pressure on the Kolkata port. We are discussing about Kolkata. Kolkata is a inland riverine port which serves as a very large and rich hinterland of Ganga Brahmaputra basin. As you know that Sundarban Delta, it is the largest delta in the world. So this port is very important for this region, and the river Hooghly, which is very important part of which port of Kolkata port, and Haldia port was developed to lessen the burden of over the Kolkata port. So these are the 12 major ports of India. Let us see on the political map of India one by one. This is the Gujarat state, and here is Kandla port. Second one is Mumbai in Maharashtra. It is Mumbai. And Jawaharlal Nehru port, it is developed to lessen the burden over the Mumbai port. Next one is Marmagao port, which is exporting more than 50% iron ore from India to the several parts of the country, which is located in Goa. This is New Mangalore, which is very important because in Karnataka state there is a mine, Kudremukh mine, which is 100% iron exported mine, and all the iron ore of Kudremukh mine is exported by which port? By the New Mangalore port. This is Kochi port in Kerala. Here is Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu. Chennai, that is artificial port, oldest port. Deepest landlocked port is Visakhapatnam. In Odisha, Paradip, which is specialized port for what? For exporting of iron ore. Here is Kolkata, which is inland riverine port of India, and here is Haldia, which is built or set up to lessen the burden over the Kolkata port. So this is the eastern coast, this is the western coast, and the 12 major, here is the Bay of Bengal, here is Arabian Sea, and this is the Indian Ocean. So India has a longest coastline in the world, 7,516.6 kilometers. So waterways plays a very important role in the economy of India, because India's total export and import 95% quantity is carried by this transportation. Thank you and have a nice day.